Good morning and welcome. We'll be starting in a couple of minutes. If you can hear me and see me, then you are all set for the event. You should see the Slido popping on the screen. Thank you, Maya. So we will be using Slido. You can already start using the QR code or joining the Slido on slido.com and using the hashtag. And we'll be starting at 10 sharp, so you have the time to grab a cup of coffee or cup of tea, and we will see you in a minute. All right. Good morning and welcome to the European Urban Initiative Q&A session. My name is Romain and I am a project officer at the EUI Permanent Secretariat, and I'm joined here today with
Nicolas. Good morning, everyone. I'm also project officer at the Secretariat of the EUI. Nice to meet you.
And we also have our backstage support, Maya, which will be supporting us for this session.
Good morning, everyone.
Thank you. So today our focus is about answering your question about EUI. We will be using a Slido in order for you to ask your question. So you can see already on the screen the QR code. You can access Slido using your mobile phone by scanning the QR code, or you can also access it with your browser at slido.com and using the hashtag EUI that QA that you see on the screen. So we will be only using Slido to receive your questions. The Microsoft Team chat is disabled, so you really need to connect on it to ask your question. You can ask your question there, or you can use your the thumbs up to like a question that has already been asked and you will also like to be answered. So to kick off this online Q&A session, we have a short quiz for you to already start interacting. And while we wait for you to join, Nicolas, what can you tell us about the new call?
Yes, so the new call, so our third call is our last big call. So we have on the table a budget of 90 million euro ERDF available, and you can co-finance your project with a budget of a maximum of 5 million euro ERDF. So one important information, don't miss the deadline to submit your application form. We expect to receive your application form by the 14th of October 2024 at 2 p.m. at the latest. So don't miss the deadline, it's very important. So I repeat, the 14th of October 2024 at 2 o'clock.
So a bit less than 2 months. We see a lot of people already registered, already on the Slido. So it's time for the first question. Is there a limit to the number of partners allowed in an EUI AI project? Is it 1A or 2 no? It seems that we have a lot of no. Nicolas, what's your take on it?
So the correct answer is no. So given the complexity of the challenges you are addressing, you should bring on board all the relevant stakeholders. So there is no specific size recommended. So the composition of your partnership is directly linked to the character of your project. Still, by experience, partnership composed of 10 or more than 10 partners are quite complex to manage, and it can be quite resource consuming. So the key message, there is no one-size-fits-all solution, but be careful with too big partnerships. That would be our advice.
So no was the good answer, but yes was also a bit of a
yes and no.
Tricky question. Our next question now. Can a university from Switzerland or Norway participate as a delivery partner in an EUI project? Is it again a yes or no? And it seems it's a bit tied. Nicolas, what do you think?
So this time there is only one correct answer, and the answer is no. So all partners should be located in the European Union. So we are not accepting entities from Switzerland, Norway, or for instance, the United Kingdom. We encourage the creation of local partnership. So that's one of our main feature. But still, if there is a specific need or a clear justification, you can also involve delivery partners from another EU member state. So it's possible to add such a new partner, but the added value to the project should be clearly demonstrated. So the key message here is that you can build your partnership only with entities coming from the European Union.
Thank you, Nicolas. So before we really dive into answering your questions, you can already start using Slido. But in the meantime, we want to take the opportunity to focus on one important key feature in an AI solution. So Nicolas, what was the common theme between the two questions that you asked?
So you may have guessed it. So the common point between these two questions was the notion of partnership. And building a solid partnership is something very important, essential for our initiative.
So that's why what we are going to dive into in the next few minutes. Can I have the next slide, please, Maya? So partnership is, as you can see on the screen, one of the 5 main features of an EUI AI solution. Your project needs to be participative. What do we intend with that is that you need to build a strong project partnership, ideally involving a quadruple helix. quadruple helix refers to representatives from all members of the society, for instance, public authorities, but also industry, academia, and civil society. You will find this information, especially in the criteria used for the assessment and the strategic assessment of your proposal. Your project also needs to be using a participative approach, from consultations to coordination and co-design. It's up to you to decide which partners and competencies are needed to deliver your innovative solutions, but please remember that this notion of partnership will be assessed into the strategic assessment of your project. Can I have the next slide, please, Maya? What is the composition of a EUI AI partnership? Of course, you have at the center the main urban authority, which is really the city leading the proposal and receiving the funding. You also have what we call delivery partner, which is any organization benefiting from a dedicated budget to perform activities of the project. A special type of partner in this type of partnership are the transfer partners, which are the 3 cities in other EU member states involved in the work package transfer. What is important also for you to know is that at the application stage, these transfer partners do not need to be formally identified into your partnership. When you will be building your application form, you will see that it remains blocked on transfer partner A, transfer partner B, and transfer partner C. And finally, the wider group of stakeholders, it's actually the group of actors that may be influenced or that will be an influence on the project. So in a way, they are involved in the project, and you will have to demonstrate in several occasions of your application form how you will be working with them or communicating with them or impacting them. But these actors are not involved with a dedicated budget in your project. Next slide, please, Maya. The general partnership principle: only an eligible urban authority can submit a proposal. If you have any question about is your urban authority an eligible urban authority to submit a proposal, we have dedicated guidance online to support you in identifying this eligibility, but you can also always ask us on Innovative Action email to answer your specific cases, so don't worry about it. As we were already saying, and as was Nicola already answering in the first quiz question, all the urban authorities and the delivery partner, but actually also the transfer partners, must be located in the European Union. We promote very local partnership, so we really encourage you to work with your partners at home, with whom you are already involved in your urban area or your territory. Therefore, we do not really expect transnational partnership. If you need to involve a partner from a remote region or distant urban area from yours, it is possible, but you really have to explain in your application form why these specific competencies are needed and justified. We want you to really showcase how your partnership is balanced, how is it complementary, and to promote, and how is it promoting horizontal and vertical integration. A key information to remember also: an urban authority cannot be involved in more than one application per call for proposals, but delivery partners do not have such restriction. Finally, the development of strong local partnerships between public bodies, private sectors, and civil society is a cornerstone of a sustainable urban development, and you can refer to the Leipzig Charter on this key topic. And can I have my last slide, Maya? Thank you. This notion of partnership, you will find it in 2 areas of the application form. First, of course, in the part B, partnership, where you will have to demonstrate how the mix of relevant partners that you have are needed to deliver the proposed solution. And really the key question that you should ask yourself here is, do I need someone else in the team to deliver the innovative solution? Really remember to showcase your partnership as a team. You really need to be able to show that you are balanced, complementary, etc., as I was saying in the previous slide. But also, we will expect you in the part D, the work plan, to really present how each partner brings knowledge and expertise into the project design and in the implementation. So we really expect you in the work plan to detail how this partnership will be involved and really make the link between partnership and work plan. You will need for each partner to have a dedicated budget and co-financing, and the last point, to be selected through fair and transparent procedures. It's really depending on the rules in your main Berlin authority to demonstrate how and why you are working with these specific partners. As also Nicolas was presenting in the first quiz questions, there is no limit to the number of partners in a partnership, but we recommend you to really pay extra attention, because we know from experience of past UIA projects that partnerships with more than 10 partners may require extra efforts and resources to ensure an effective management. So if you have a big partnership, it's possible, but really remember to have key management structures and procedures to demonstrate that you will be able to handle such a large partnership. And that's the end for this short presentation about partnership. If you have any question about it, we can also happily come back to any element that was not clear. But now it's time to open up for any questions that we might have received. And I see that we have already received some questions. So, first question for you, Nicolas. Is there a minimum of partners required in a project partnership?
I would say yes and no. So the minimum would be at least one MUA, so the main urban authority, but it won't be enough. So you have to set up, let's say, your dream team and to select the most relevant partners. But you have to cover, let's say, different competencies or different expertise to build a solid partnership. And there is no magical number, I would say. It's really linked to the nature of your project, your objective, which dimension you would like to address, which type of stakeholders you would like to address. So you have to find out, based on your own project ID, what would be the key actors to involve in order to build a solid partnership. So I won't say there is a minimum number, but let's say you should find out, okay, what are the key actors which could support you to then implement and develop an innovative solution. So let's say the basic number would be 3, 4, but yeah, it's really linked to the project topic, to be honest.
Thank you.
Then we can move to another question. So, can a city be a transfer partner in the second call and at the same time apply as a lead partner in the third call? Romain, what do you think?
That's an easy answer. Yes, it is possible. You can definitely be a transfer partner in the second call, or actually also in the first call, and apply as a lead partner in the third call. The only thing which is not possible is to be transfer partner and lead partner, but in the framework of the same call. So for instance, if you are already if you are planning to apply as a lead partner in the third call, you will not be able to be also a transfer partner in the third call. But this configuration from the question of Bernarda, yes, it is absolutely possible. So yeah, don't be shy. We have all the time to answer your questions. And now for the next one from Federica. when does the partnership agreement need to be signed?
So the partnership agreement is not a document you have to provide in the framework of the application phase. So this document should be signed once you are approved. So at the moment, you don't need to worry about this specific document. It will have to be signed by you and your partner at a later stage in case you are approved. We can move to another question. Still from Frederica. Should the main urban authority launch public tender procedures to select their delivery partners?
Yes, so that's what I was mentioning in the last slide of the presentation. You should be able to demonstrate that the delivery partners that you have selected have been selected in fair and transparent procedures, obviously, but it is not mandatory from our side to show that you have launched a public tender procedure on this case. It really actually depends on the rules that you have in your own urban authority into working with public or private entities into a EU funded project. So here in this case, it's really up to you to see if it makes sense depending of the rules of your own city. We have a next question from Andrej. Where is it possible to see the project accepted in the same or similar previous tender call?
So you can find this information, Andrej, on our website. So we have a dedicated page. So if you go on the website www.urban-initiative.eu, on the front page, we'll have at the top a tab called Innovative Actions. And here you can see the list of the approved project from the previous calls. That's where you will find this piece of information. Then we can move to another question from Julia. Where can I name the delivery partners in the application form online? I can only find the transfer partners.
Yes, so it is because by default, when you will start your application form on the platform, only the transfer partners are listed because, as I was saying, these 3 transfer partners are mandatory, but at the application stage, it will remain blocked. You cannot modify the name and add the information about these transfer partners because this is not expected from you at the application stage. The delivery partners you will see on the application form, you can basically create new delivery partners. You can create as many as you want. And every time you will create a new page, you will have the opportunity to add a delivery partner. If you have any question about how the EEP is working, the electronic platform is working, there is a guidance that you can find on the call page of the third call, explaining to you how to use the electronic platform, and you will see really a dedicated walkthrough on how to create new partners. So it's normal that you do not see delivery partners at the beginning. You have to create them yourself.
And if you are facing some, let's say, difficulties to fill in your application form, you can contact us. We have an email address available on our web page. Otherwise, it's innovativeaction@urbaninitiative.eu. So you can contact us, you can drop us a line. Ideally, you can make some screenshots if you are facing some difficulties, and we will answer you as soon as possible.
Yes. We have a question from Federico. In the technology in cities theme, we were unable to link the call prompts with the result indicators. What is required?
So that's a very good question and also very specific. It's also linked, maybe also linked to the topic of your own project. But in general, what we expect, it's by result indicators, we try to measure the impact the change will apply in your territory. So the idea is to somehow measure the change you will bring to your in the local context. So when you will be developing your project, you will set up an overall objective, and you will have to define the expected change in your territory, and that's what we will ask you to explain us and to describe us within your application form. So it's really case by case that, okay, we can explain you in further detail how to build these connections. And my suggestion, because it's a very broad question, it's maybe for you to register into our one-to-one consultation. It's one of the services we are offering to our applicants. You can find this registration form on our website, and you can ask for one-to-one consultation so that we can further exchange directly linked to the topic of your project and see what could be the element which should be make your whole exercise easier. Yeah, I think we can move to another question. So there is a question from Georges. Can the MUA cover the entire 20% of the partner's contribution by its own in-kind contribution, 1.5 million euros?
Yes, thank you for this question. So first, yes, the MUA, or actually any delivery partner, can cover the contribution of the other partners. So this is absolutely possible. All you will have to do is in the section about partners' contributions, you will indicate that one partner is covering the other partner's contribution. One important element to mention here, because you are referring to in-kind contribution, is that you have to remember that in-kind contribution must be reflected into two different sections of the application form. It must indeed be reflected into the partner contribution section, but also in the project budget of the work plan. So in-kind contribution is to be considered as a project partner expenditure. So you need to reflect this in-kind contribution into the cost categories, which are external expertise and services, or equipment, or infrastructure and construction works. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So we can move on to the next question from Federica again. Can I have transfer partner from the same member state as the main urban authority? What do you think, Nicolas?
So no, it's not possible. So the idea of behind the topic of the transfer partners, it's to really disseminate or share the innovative solution developed by your project in the European Union. So the philosophy behind this concept is really to transfer your solution to another EU member state. And in fact, not one, it's three member states, because you will have to select 3 transfer partners, and they should really come from different member states.
But only from the European Union, remember.
Exactly. We can move to another question, maybe the one from Orla. So regarding the main urban authority, can it only apply for one project under the call-through?
Yes, absolutely. This is a key requirement. An urban authority can only be funded once in the framework of a call for proposal. And actually, we also have a new rule. If an urban authority has been already funded in Call 1 or Call 2 of the European Urban Initiative, it is not eligible to be funded in the framework of the third call. So you need really to pay attention to this detail. You cannot be involved in several applications. If it was the case, we would ask you to drop out of one of your 2 projects. So it would be a waste of time for you to submit 2 projects at the same time. I think that's quite clear. This is, we did not speak about it when we were presenting the partnership, but of course an urban authority can be involved as main urban authority or associated urban authority. it is applying the same whether you are a main urban authority in one project and associated urban authority in another. It will work exactly the same. And this is why also you cannot be a transfer partner if you are also applying as an urban authority in the third call. You will not be able to be a transfer partner in the third call as well. So we are receiving quite a good number of questions. Let's see for the next one. Do not hesitate to still ask or to come up with follow-up questions if something was not clear in something already asked. Maybe the question from Theo Caris, is a region considered as a main urban authority or only cities?
So here we only accept as a, let's say, lead partner, main urban authorities, only urban authorities. They can only apply. So a region is not entitled to lead a project within our initiative. So it's, as you can see, in the, let's say, in the name of our initiative, European Urban Initiative. So the regional level is not entitled to lead a project. So the answer is not only cities can apply, urban authorities, to be more precise. So if you want further information, I would invite you to really dig into the topic in our guidance. We have a dedicated chapter on who is eligible or who can apply. So for us, it's urban authorities. So it could be cities, also organized agglomeration. But you can find further details, and it's really case by case. You can see also within also the context of your country if you are eligible to lead a project within our initiative. We have a question now from Katarina. So one objective is common for both teams. Is it important? Is it more important than the rest? So the way I understand this question, it's okay, your overall objective in a way covering both the two main topics of our goal. So maybe it's more the question, okay, is it possible just to focus on one, or what would be the correct approach when developing the project?
Yeah, I'm not sure about this question, if it's when by objective, this is referring to cohesion policy objectives, or if it's related to the rest. Maybe Katarina, you could clarify what you intended with this question on one objective. Any strategic question, we can see your screen, Maya, by the way.
Okay.
So yeah, let's maybe switch to another question while Katerina is.
Yeah, we would invite you maybe to reformulate it, or if we didn't clearly answer it, maybe, okay, if something is not clear, you can still contact us via our email address in case we are not answering to the point your question. Maybe we can move to the next question.
Yes.
So maybe the one from Balash. So while in the energy transition is enabling retrofitting buildings with innovative technologies, technology in cities is rather more digital solution focused. So I think here it's linked to the nature of the expected solution within the different topics. So I will try to reformulate it in my own words. So Romain, do you think we expect a specific type of solution per topics, or is it more open?
Yeah, absolutely. Energy transition enabling retrofitting building with innovative technologies. I mean, I would want to answer yes, basically, to your questions, but also remember that European Urban Initiative is not only focused on technological solution, it's about innovation in a broader way. You can also involve social innovation. You can also have your solution being innovative in a whole sort of different ways. You have in the description of the topics different prompts, which should help you to really guide you into what type of project are we expecting. It's true that in technologies in cities, you will see that a lot of digital solutions are mentioned. But we also invite you to see that there are some expected solutions, for instance, about ensuring food securities in urban and functional areas. So you can actually be quite a bit creative about this topic and to see other type of technologies apply into the different solutions that we expect. And the same with energy transition. I would not say that it's only about enabling retrofitting buildings, because there are also a lot of different areas targeting, for instance, the transport, how to make transport systems less depending on fossil fuel, and to really promote different types of mobilities. You will also see in the topic about energy transition that it's also not only at the scale of the building, but it can also be at the scale of a neighborhood or even at the scale of a whole city, to design new energy model which are integrating renewable energies, or really energy communities to better manage the energy transition at the scale of one city, even linking surrounding rural areas. So I would say, to come back to the initial question, yes, but you can also be more creative than that if you pay close attention to the description of the topics.
I think maybe one of the key messages is we are not restrictive in the nature of the solution we expect per topic. So it's really linked to the nature of your project, your overall objective. What we will assess, it's really the coherence of your approach, and if the solution you will be developing is really matching the overall objective you have set up. And if everything is coherent and making sense and bringing an added value to your local context, that would be positively assessed. And then the nature of the solution itself, if it's digital or not, it's really, let's say, secondary, but what we would be assessing is really the coherence and the innovative character of your solution.
Thank you, Nicolas. So I see that we have the follow-up question from Katerina. Maybe we can already dive into it. So indeed, the question was about cohesion policy target and specific objective 5.1. So what can you take on this question, Nicolas?
Okay, I kind of forgot the initial.
Yeah, the question was the fact that the cohesion policy target specific objective 5.1 is in both topics. So what should participants expect about it? Is it something which should lead them to think that it's a more important objective than the others, or?
Okay, so there is no, let's say, hierarchy between the two topics. So what we expect, it's for you, based on the project you will be developing, it's to create a link with some specific objective of the cohesion policy. So a bit similar to my previous comment, it's what we expect, it's just the coherence. So if you select one specific objective, link of the cohesion policy, we expect you that your project topic and your overall objective is directly contributing to it. So there is no hierarchy in terms of a specific objective to be selected. What we expect, it's really, as I said, the coherence of your overall approach is the intervention logic you will be describing in your application form. Maybe we can move to the next question. One from Bernarda. Is the application form in Word format the same as the electronic version in terms of, for instance, of character limit, or can we expect some changes? So I think here, by maybe for the other participants, what is meant by a Word format. It's courtesy document,
Mhm.
which is part of our application package you can find on our website.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So indeed, this application form courtesy document that you can find on the page of the call, it's really a tool for you to work offline if you want to exchange with your partners and to really work in changes, in comments, etc. And it is exactly the same as the electronic version of the EEP that you will have to submit. So it's really meant for you to help you to work on it. In theory, if you are doing your application form courtesy document, really following all the instruction, you should not have any issues when then copy pasting information into the electronic format. Everything should be the same and you will not find any differences between the two of them. Just maybe one last element to clarify. This application form courtesy document, it's only a tool that we give you to help you to work, but we will only accept application forms submitted into the platform before the deadline. We will not accept courtesy documents sent by email to the initiative or anything otherwise. You will have to go through the platform to submit your application form at the end.
Maybe to complement the answer of Romain, one advice. So don't wait the very last minute to log in and to register on our platform. By experience, it's better to start to work online and in advance, and don't wait the very last minute, because the application form you will see when you will be working offline on the courtesy document, it will become quite a heavy document. So it's taking time also to copy paste and to get familiar with the platform itself. So don't wait the very last minute. We encourage you to work step by step and to not wait the last minute to avoid stressful moments towards the end of the call. So it's really one advice from our side.
Thank you. We have a next question from Katerina. Do we need to name the transfer partners from the application form stage or also later on?
So it's not compulsory to provide us with the 3 names of the transfer partner cities. It's something we recommend you. It's, let's say, it would be positively assessed if you have already identified your 3 transfer partner cities. But we know that it's also quite a big exercise to find out the 3 key cities with whom you would like to work and cooperate during the implementation phase of your project. So if you are not in the position of providing us with the name of the 3 cities, it's still okay. But we would expect in your application form further information, link on, let's say, the rationale you would like to apply when you would be looking for these 3 cities, to explain us what would be your ideal candidate to fulfill this role in your partnership. So in a nutshell, it's not compulsory to provide us with 3 names of cities, but what is expected, at least in the application phase, is to provide us with, let's say, a description of the ideal candidates which could, let's say, fulfill this role in your partnership.
Mm-hmm. And to precisely also complement this, where you can inform about ideal type of transfer partners you will have to be involved. This is referring to the part C of your application form, so the description of the innovative solution, and especially, if I remember well, part C.4 about transfer, sustainability, and scaling up. There you will have several questions about transfer, how you envisage transfer in your project, and which type of urban authorities could also benefit from your solution once it will be fully developed.
And maybe still linked to this topic, so we know that it can be also quite complex to find the right candidate. So we have also developed some tools to support you. And if you go on our website, you can find under the tab looking for funding, we have developed some support tools for applicants. And there is one specifically specifically dedicated, to the transfer partner search. It's what we call the urban matchmaker. So you can go on this page and you can also here try to, let's say, find out or express your need for a transfer partner linked to your project and topic you would like to address.
Thank you, Nicolas.
Maybe we can move to the next question, the one from Evgenia. Regarding transfer partners, what is the evaluation process for solution replication deployment? How it is funded and what if it's failed or even not done at all?
So there are several elements to answer your question. First, regarding how is it funded, it's quite simple for the transfer partners. The 3 transfer partners, they all receive a lump sum of 120,000 euros of co-financing. So they will also need to bring their own contribution, but their involvement in the project is covered by this lump sum of 120,000, which is for the entire duration of their involvement into the implementation of the project. For the rest of the partnership, for instance, notably the MUA, but also if you want to have several delivery partners involved in the work package transfer, you will, as for any other work packages, have to by yourself dedicate a budget for the MUA and delivery partners involved in the transfer. Now, when it comes to the solution replication deployment, the goal really of this work package transfer, in a nutshell, it's really to have the transfer partners involved in witnessing the development of the solution while you are implementing it. And you are asking a good question here. What if it fails or even is not done at all? It's actually part of the learning process. If there are several elements of your project which fails or are not completed entirely successfully, if something is not done the way you intended it to be done in the first place when you are submitting your application form, it's also quite important for these transfer partners to be there, to already see the challenges, to already identify what was difficult for you, because for them it will be a key learning about how they can, at the end of your project, start transferring the solution in their own way. Because whatever happened, the transfer partners, they are interested in the solutions that you are developing. So the idea is that at the end of your project, when the implementation phase of your project is over, they have as many elements as possible to start thinking about how they could replicate the solution at home in their own local urban context. So I hope this is answering your question, and don't hesitate to ask follow-up question about this transfer components. Do you think I was missing something, Nicolas?
No, you are our transfer expert. But in general, in case our answer are not fully, let's say, answering all your questions, you can still contact us via email in case you need complementary information or further precision on some specific topics. So don't hesitate to drop us a line and we'll answer you as fast as possible.
And I see that we have another question about transfer, so let's stay in this topic for now. Can winning cities from previous UI calls now apply to be a transfer city in this call?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but yes, I think someone who was, let's say, selected in a previous code can become a transfer partner in the framework of this third code. So it's possible to be a candidate to become a transfer partner in case you were already selected in the previous code. One question from Federica. Do I need to use predefined indicators for results and outputs?
So what you need to do for your results and outputs. So when you will be designing in your application form your outputs, you will see that you will be able to choose through a list of selected predefined output indicators. You can already see these predefined output indicators and result indicators in the description of the topics. So they are really specific to each topics. And indeed, when designing your outputs, you will have the possibility to include predefined output indicators. If you do not find a relevant output indicator for the outputs that you have designed, you have the possibility to create by yourself new output indicators. However, maybe the advice that I would give here is as much as possible to try to use these predefined output indicators, because the reason that they are there is also to help us to see if your project is relevant for the topic of the call. So I would say as much as possible for the output indicators and the result indicators, try to use the predefined ones. If you have some outputs or some activities which do not really relate to one of the predefined output indicators and you want to include one of your own, it's completely feasible. It's absolutely normal. We cannot plan for all the indicators for your project. But this should be a good indicator, sorry for the reuse of the word, of if your project is in line with the topic of the call or not.
And I think one golden rule is when you will be drafting your application form and working on the indicators, both at the result and output level, one of the key rules is everything should make sense. You don't have to, let's say, force or to use by default some indicators which are not matching with the overall objective of your project and the outcomes stemming from your activities. So one also important dimension for you to keep in mind, it could be one of the keywords I would say. Today, it's the coherence of your proposal and your intervention logic. Everything has to make sense in the end. So that's also one key message. Don't feel forced to use indicators that are not really matching with your topic you are addressing.
Absolutely. We have another question from Federico. Is the maximum budget per project 5 million or is it the maximum ERDF contribution?
So 5 million is the maximum ERDF contribution. It is the answer. No need to further develop. 5 million ERDF fund is the maximum you can ask. So the maximum budget will be by definition higher.
6.25.
Challenging my mathematical skills. Yes.
5 million plus 20%
Exactly.
for your own contribution.
One question from Nico. Is the funding rate of 80% bound to less developed regions, or do you need a partner in a less developed region to get at the 80% funding rate?
Yeah, so the 80% co-funding rate is for any EU member state. We do not have a funding rate depending on the level of development of the region. I think this might be a question related to Interreg project where you can have a funding rate depending on the level of development of the region. This is not the case here. In EUI, the co-funding rate of 80% is for any project, any city, any delivery partners from the European Union. Next question from Julia. Is there a template table, for example, on Excel for budget planning?
Unfortunately, no. So we are just providing you with a courtesy document of the application form. So it's in Word format and it's covering all the different sections of your application form, but we are not providing you with an Excel table for planning your budget. What you have to keep in mind is when you will be filling in the application form in the EEP, our online platform, you will have to build your budget work package by work package. So that's one key dimension you should keep in mind. But no, we are not providing you with such a kind of document or extra tool. But maybe linked to one of my previous advices, maybe it's worth also to log into the monitoring system, the EEP, our online platform, to have a look or which type of information would be required when you would be building your budget online in your application form. That would be also one advice I would give you on this topic.
Mhm.
And before moving to the next question, we still have 10 minutes in this meeting, so that's more or less your last chance to post your question on Slido. And in case we don't manage to answer all the question, we invite you to send us an email so that we can directly come back to you in case we didn't have sufficient time to answer your question.
Mhm.
But let's move quickly to the next one. Maybe one question from Jane. Do we have to contact potential transfer partners to get their agreement if they are interested in being transfer partner at application stage? And are transfer partners MUAs? So Romain, can you explain us a bit?
So first, about the second question, are transfer partners MUA? No. So if you remember the presentation at the beginning of the that I was presenting with this little schematic about the overview of the composition of a partnership, what we mean by main urban authority, it's really the lead city for the partnership. So the main urban authority, it's really one partner. It's the city submitting the project and who is going to submit the application form at the end. So the transfer partners, it's another kind of partners. We call them also urban authority, but not main urban authority. Do you have to contact potential transfer partners to get their agreement if they are interested in being transfer partners at the application stage? It's not expected from you to do so. What we really expect from you is to show that you have potential ideas about transfer partners that could be involved in your project at the application stage. But we do not, for instance, expect you to involve letter of intent in the annex. We do not expect you to do this type of thing. We really invite you just to show that you have potential idea of transfer partners, but you will be expected to you will only be expected to do so once the project is selected. And we have maybe time for one more question from Sylvia, for instance. Where can I find the application form on Word or PDF format?
So you can find the courtesy document we were mentioning earlier on our website. So I don't know it by heart, but if you go on the front page, you will have a tab for the looking for fund, and we have a dedicated page for our third call for proposal. So when you reach this page, you'll find at the very end or at the bottom of this page what we call an application package, when you can find different pieces of information, documents for supporting you, and among this package of documents, we'll find the courtesy document in Word format. So we are not providing you with PDF version of the application form outside our monitoring system, but it's only in Word document, and you can find it on our website on the page dedicated to the third call. I think we don't have any more time for question.
Maybe just the last one, because it's a bit blocking, but this is really the last questions that we are answering.
Yes. Yes, the one from Ioannis. Is it mandatory that the MUS submits the application form in the platform, or can any other partner assume that responsibility?
Yes, so any user, I would say, can submit the application form on the platform. It does not need to be the MUA. However, you will see when you are submitting your application form that we need the last part of the application form. How is it called? The confirmation sheet. This confirmation sheet needs to be signed by a representative from the main urban authority and only from the main urban authority. A delivery partner cannot do this, sign this confirmation sheet. So in terms of user rights, yes, anyone can submit the application form and click the submit button, but confirmation sheet needs to be signed by the MUA. And I think that's the last questions that we had. So thank you everyone for your questions. We have now reached nearly reached the end of the online Q&A. If you had any other questions that was not answered during this session, do not remember that we have other forms of support available. Maybe we can come back to the slide, Maya. Yes, perfect. Thank you. So all you need to know is available here. We have the online resources with the AI guidance, the EEP guidance, the application form courtesy document. You can access all of it by just scanning this QR code and going into the page, or you can find it on the link that will be accessible on this presentation. You can also register to our next online Q&A session. So the next one will actually be in 1 month from now, in 19th of August, if I remember correctly, the week of 19th of August. 29th of
End of
August?
August, yeah.
Okay, end of August. So after the well-deserved holiday, I hope for every one of you. You can also register to online one-to-one consultation. You can also find on the webpage local UCP events, maybe organized in your country, where you can directly come and have dedicated session in your own country. And last but not least, we have an application form workshop organized on 10th of September 2024 in Brussels. You can already register to this event. You can already register to this event. We will be happy to support you during this event. And I think, Nicolas, you have one last word.
So yeah, we didn't manage to answer all your questions, but what we will do is to take them on board, and we will draft some answers and send you the feedback directly in a follow-up email. So to all the participants of this online Q&A, just to complement what I said before. Yeah, that was it.
Perfect. That will be it for us. Don't remember also to register to our newsletter. You can contact us by email to innovativeactions@urbaninitiative.eu, and we will be happy to keep on answering your questions. I hope this was a very fruitful experience for you this morning, and in the meantime, we wish you good luck with your application form.
Thank you for all your questions, and yeah, wish you all the best for the next steps.
Okay, goodbye everyone.
Bye-bye.